So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in. And what a magnificent day it is. But isn't it interesting that a lot of people's days are ruined by them getting offended? And we've got a lot of things now in the world that have become very offensive. Well, the thing that is most offensive to me, and I hope that you get as passionate as I am about this horrible word, and may you also get offended by this horrible word, it's the C word, can't. I'm really, really disappointed, sad. Sometimes I even get angry at how many times people are told that they can't. You can't do that. It won't work for you. Well, isn't it interesting that everything that has ever been achieved was once considered impossible? Everything that we use, everything that we do, everything that we take for granted, at one stage somebody said that can't be done. There's a word for those people, they're called can'ts. And the interesting thing is the human brain will respond to the word can't and believe you. So if you say I can't, if somebody else tells you that you can't and you believe them, your brain will agree, and now that is absolutely true. You cannot do it. You can't do it if you believe that you can't do it. But there's a different phrase, a different way to look at that whole process. Instead of saying I can't, what if we said how can I? How can I do that? And that's what's happened to all of the inventions, the creations, all the things that we do, that we experience every day that were once considered impossible. Somebody said, instead of you can't do that, it's not possible, they said, how can I do that? So whatever it is in your life that you want to do, instead of saying I can't or believing somebody else telling you that you can't, which just really I find very offensive, because the people that tell you that you can't, there's a couple of things to consider. Have they done it before? If they haven't done it, how would they know that it can't be done? They haven't even given it a go. If they have given it a go and they failed, they can't do it, they decided for whatever reason that it can't be done, does that mean that you can't do it? Just because somebody else had a go and failed, or they gave up, and to me that's the only definition of failure, is that you gave up. If you give it a crack and you don't give up, then you can't fail. So the people that didn't do it, have failed, say that it can't be done because they gave it a go and it didn't work, doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. It just didn't work for them. So I'll give you some beautiful examples, and I use them all the time. But if you were told that you can't be successful in business, that's not true, obviously, because there's plenty of successful businesses. Somebody might say that you personally can't be successful in business. But the strategies, the fundamentals, the foundation of being successful in business, which is do something you're passionate about, keep learning about it, training for it and educating to get better at it, and add massive value to people's lives. I call that the sweet spot. Anybody can do that. You can be passionate about something, keep learning and training and educating for it, and add massive, your product or service adds massive value to people's lives, and you will have a successful business. People are told they can't be a sports person or an artist or a musician. I always joke about that because people say, oh, you can't be a musician, you can't be a singer because you can't sing. Well, there's plenty of rock stars that can't sing. There's plenty of musicians that can't read music or write music. There's plenty of people who are told that they can't be successful. You can't sing, so you can't be a musician. But they just didn't buy into that. You and I go to concerts, listen to music with people who don't have the best singing voices, but they wanted to be a singer, they wanted to be a musician. That was what they were the most passionate about. So they kept training and educating and learning and practicing and getting better at it. And because it adds massive value to our lives, we go and listen. And some of the songs that we listen to, we even know that the person is miming or that the music was produced, but we love it anyway because we love the passion behind it. There are sports people that were told you're not good enough for your sport, but they went and became the best at their sport anyway, regardless of what somebody said. And then there's the people that have lost limbs, or they've been told that because you can't do it because, and there's always a big long list of reasons why you can't do it. The interesting thing for that though is that you only need one reason for you not to be able to do it. If you believe that you can't, one reason will do it and you won't be able to do it. But how do you explain to people that were really good at one sport, lost a limb, and then became good at another sport? They just didn't take can't as a reality. They just didn't buy into that. My favourite story is a professional dancer who ended up as the lead dancer for the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show, travelled the world. He was born with one leg. And in his own quote, his own beautiful expression, he says, I have a very unusual occupation for a man with one leg. He just didn't buy into the can't. People say that you can't be healthy, fit and strong because you've got some kind of genetic challenge, or because you live in a cold place, or I have to get a cold in winter because it's cold. Well, if you believe that, that's of course that will happen. You can't be healthy in winter because it's cold. Well, that's just not true. But if you buy into it and you believe it, then of course it becomes true. So the 4 areas of life that Romax is all about: healthy, fit and strong, career or business that you love, be financially free and have great relationships in your life. If somebody tells you that you can't do that, that's what I'm here for every day, because that's what I've been studying and researching and analysing my entire life. How to get healthy, fit and strong. That's really simple. Get puffed to get fit, lift and overload your muscles and bones to get strong, and then your whole life changes and you become healthier because you are fit and strong. Having a career or business is a simple process. If you do something that you love, you'll want to get better at it, you want to educate and train for it, and you'll want to add massive value to people's lives, and that's how to become successful in your career or in your business. And I learned that a long time ago, and I'm very privileged I was given this gift. Rowie, never overestimate other people and never underestimate yourself. If they can do it, you can do it. It's just a matter of how. What I get excited about is the people who were told you can't do it, nobody's ever done it, it's never been done before, you can't do it. And people take that on as a challenge. It's never been done before, so let's give it a crack anyway. And isn't that a great headspace? Even if you believe right now that you can't do it, why not give it a crack anyway? If you tell yourself you can't, that's going to be a little bit more complicated, yes, but give it a crack anyway. I can't run marathon. I actually believed that. I really believed that I couldn't run a marathon. I did a whole heap of half marathons and just thought, how can I possibly run 21 kilometres and then run 21 kilometres again? I can't do that. Until I did it. Isn't that interesting? I just said, let's give it a crack anyway, and I did 21 marathons after that. And I'm sharing that with you for no other reason that there'll be things in your life that you think you can't do, yeah? Well, is that really true, or are you believing somebody else's rubbish? Is that really true, or are you believing your own lack of self-belief? And the beautiful thing about self-belief, it doesn't come from a pink box falling out of the sky. It simply comes from doing it. So if you give it a crack and have a go, and then you did it, now you know that you can do it. So whatever it is, can I have a successful business? Yes, you've just got to do what you're passionate about. Learn, train, educate, add massive value to people's lives. You'll have a successful business. Can you be healthy, fit and strong? Yes. Get puffed to get fit. Overload your muscles and bones to get strong. When your body's fit and strong, it's more likely to be healthy. Can you be financially free? That's the easy one. There is so much information about how to be wealthy, how to be financially secure, how to be financially free. And if you believe that you can't, you won't. But if you ask yourself, how can I? It doesn't matter what your background is, how much money you don't have at the moment. Doesn't matter how many times you've been told you can't have a successful financial life. The fundamentals to becoming wealthy are very simple. And if anybody follows those fundamentals, they will become financially free and successful. And I don't want to live my life. I hope you don't either. There are so many people who are angry and stressed because they don't have enough money. There are so many people who fight. They have family challenges. Their life is miserable because they don't have enough money. And yet money is the easiest one. If somebody tells you that you can't be financially free or successful, that is just not true. There are people who have started with zero, nothing, homeless on the street, people who have come from very low socioeconomic areas in the world, people who have come from very poor countries, people who think that they're not smart enough to make money, and they've ended up retiring not just financially free, but having a stack of money, being multimillionaires, billionaires. That one's really simple. The complicated one is, can I have great relationships? Well, you can't have a great relationship with anybody else if you don't have a great relationship with yourself. And that's the one that you have full control over. So to say that you can't have great relationships is just silly. Because if you have a great relationship with you, will you ever be lonely? Will you ever require great friends? The answer is no, because you really love who you are. But here's the great question. If you have a great relationship with yourself and you really like who you are and you've got self-respect, self-esteem, self-confidence, and you want to be friends with you, first of all, you might not need other people, but is it possible that other people want to be friends with you? They will respect you, they will like you because you do. And that's in your full control. I have no control what other people do, and I have no control whether other people like me. But I have full control over how I feel about myself. And guess what? So do you. Isn't that exciting? So this most offensive word, can't. I hate it. I think it's disgusting, and I wish we would stop using it. To tell a child, to tell another human being, you can't do that. How disrespectful is that? Everything that's ever been invented or created was once considered impossible. We were told we can't fly planes, the computers are never going to work, the internet is a ridiculous thing, mobile phones will never happen, cars will never work, you'll never be able to run under a 4-minute mile, you'll never be able to run under a 2.5-hour full marathon. A whole heap of things were considered impossible. Now they've brought the full marathon down to 2 hours. The 100-metre sprints come under 10 seconds. We drive cars, we fly planes, we've got computers, we've got mobile phones. We're talking about going to Mars. The world is filled with people who don't buy into can't. They're the anti-can'ts. So if you're a can't, please keep your opinion to yourself. If you think you can't, how about just share with yourself, how can I? And the beautiful thing about the brain, talking about planes, goes a plane right now. Somebody was told once that there would be no such thing as flying in the air for humans. It'll never happen. And yet here I am standing in the South Island of New Zealand. It's a beautiful day and a plane's flying over my head. And that one looks like an old one. It's been around for quite a while. Because the person who was told you can't fly didn't buy into the can't, and they gave it a crack anyway. They weren't can'ts, they were can people. So there's a great question. If you're a teacher, a parent, a coach, a boss, a leader, do we have a responsibility to take can't out of our vocabulary? Would it be really important to replace can't with how can I? And wouldn't it be awesome if somebody comes to you with an idea, a creation, an invention, a business opportunity, rather than saying, you can't do that, it can't be done? How about, great idea, let's work out how it can be done. How can I versus you can't. Let's stop being a can't so that we can sing every day like I do. Super duper doo, how are you? I am amazing because I can. I can. Woohoo!